Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented writer, producer, and actor Paul Sloan. Hello and welcome to the show.
How you doing, guys? Thanks for having me.
There you go. Before we get started, let me introduce you to everybody, starting off with my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Now, isn't this all bullshit? Just so unnecessary.
I like it. Though.
No, I want to get to the movie.
No, keep going. We have all kinds of stuff to talk about.
I want to say this, then you could talk whatever you want. All right, just let me say something for change. Stop being Adolf. Adolf is, dead now.
Come on, let's go.
Anyway, you were in a. Now listening to me. I love Church's stuff. I cannot wait to see your movie. No bullshit, no smoke up your ass, because I don't do that to anybody. Okay. How big a star you are. I really am excited to see this movie.
Nation's Fire. He's talking about Nation's Fire.
No, I'm talking about Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I wanted to, before we got going, I wanted to make sure that I'm only here because of Thomas Churchill, and I was lucky enough to meet him a year ago, and I know he suggested you guys have me on, and I appreciate that. I never had so much fun working on a movie. That's the first time I met Thomas, and it was like one of those super lucky situations. A producer friend of mine introduced me to Thomas, and then boom, I'm making a movie in 4 weeks. And I had a blast. It was like an old school 70s Roger Corman, bikers and chicks and Bruce Dern to make it official. I'm dying to see that movie. I guess. Well,
Lauren, we love Lauren. Lorene. Well, whatever, Lauren, Lorene. When she's high and everybody's high, she'll answer to anything.
She's happy to get mentioned, yes.
I love her.
We had her on last week.
I'm crazy about that Dizzy bitch. I am so crazy about it. You have no idea. She's one of my campy sisters. And I could just see her playing a drunken bitch, fighting with the old guy. I could just see her playing that. This could be a great movie.
Actually, Church told me he saw the first rough draft of it like 2 days ago.
And it was good.
Yeah, he said it was good.
It's good.
It's one of those things where you really, acting, it's miserable. Everybody around you is miserable unless they're getting paid. That was such a joy to work on. I never felt like it was work. And I was new to Thomas's little family. It's very tight, his crew. And, man, they treated me like a king. I had a blast. I had a blast.
Well, I'm Church's next film, which is called Amityville.
Something Amityville.
Amityville.
Oh, okay.
Amityville Harvest.
With Sadie Katz, my baby doll. And I play a bartender. Now, I just finished doing a movie last week called
Circus Road.
Circus Road. Some shit like that.
I watch all that stuff. Killer Clowns, Amy.
But wait a minute.
We love that stuff.
Wait a minute. I played a minister of the hard part with stupid things I had to say. I couldn't remember my lines. So they were having a hard time with me. So I said to Churchill, wait till I come on your set. And, Church said ad lib. And that's what I love about him.
He's great.
So hold on, we got to finish doing intros. We got to introduce you to our man behind the boards in Florida, Mr. Chad Murphy.
Welcome, Mr.
What's
Sloan.
up, Chad?
Doing good. How are you, sir?
Pretty good.
Welcome.
Then we have a chat room full of people. Say hi to everybody in the chat room. We have Germany, we have Estonia, Canada, Australia, the United States, the United Kingdom, everybody all the places.
We have to get Armenians in there.
Yes, we do. We have to get some Armenians in there. So just say hi to everybody in the chat room. They're all talking about
them at lunch. I have to see a bunch of Armenian buddies at lunch, and they'd be pissed if I don't mention that vigilante movie. Shot a lot in Armenia.
Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Which one thing I find is cool. First of all, let's do some bragging for you real quick.
Sure.
I like to do bragging because bragging is always fun. For anybody who hasn't seen anything that you've been in,
that's a lot of people.
We'll talk about that. Yes, but
never do that. Say millions see you.
Yes.
Sell it, baby. All the time.
That's right.
Always sell it.
But I have a little list of your films, and we'll talk about acting and some of that stuff. Sure. And he's gonna. But I made a list of some of the people that you've worked with. Some of them have actually been on the show, and this is just a small list, but these are names everybody knows.
I bet I'm gonna work with you.
Absolutely.
Are you in The Big Fucking Rat?
You know what? Believe it or not, there was a shot I was going to be the exterminator in a little cameo, but I think Thomas hasn't decided yet.
Because I play the mafia guy up in the cabin that gets his leg chopped off, and
You're not really supposed to tell what happens in the film of a film that hasn't come out.
Oh, well, do you think people are going to remember?
Yes, they're going to remember. Maybe you have 4 million people listening.
Well, I want 4 million people to buy the fucking movie. Why do you think Church puts us in it?
He's smart.
Jimmy knows Church for like 30 years or something.
Yeah, well, Church and I have been friends for like a really long time.
And I'm crazy about Church. You know, he's from Brooklyn. He's an Italian.
He's actually coming for Thanksgiving.
Wait, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm Italian. And when Church and I speak, nobody else understands us. But we understand each other because we speak Brooklynese.
Okay, so hold on. So you guys, these are some of the cool-ass people Paul Sloan has worked with on different films that he's been in. Some of them are films he actually like has written. That's one thing I want to talk about a little bit.
Sure.
So he's worked with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, John Travolta, Tom Berenger, Michael Biehn, who's been on our show, Dominique Swain, D.B. Sweeney, Jason Mewes, who's been on our show, Michael Jai White. I love him. I think he's one
of my best friends. He's a great guy.
He is such a badass dude. It's not even funny. Michael Madsen, Danny Trejo, Noel Guglielmi, who's also been on the show, Viggo Mortensen, Linda Cardellini, Christopher Maloney from Law & Order, Sam Trammell from True Blood, and Rebecca De Mornay, who I just saw her on an episode of Hawaii Five-0 last night.
I heard she's a bitch.
Oh, I don't think so. I think she's nice.
Oh, I heard stuff about Rebecca. Because I was going to, I don't know, I ran into her or something about her a couple of years ago, and somebody said, "Oh, you don't want her on your show. She's tough."
Oh,
Is she a sweetie? What's she like?
She was very nice. I didn't have any scenes with her, but she was super nice. But, you know.
That's all you can do anyway.
That's
right. Hi, Rebecca.
I got.
Actually, I wrote her name down to look her up to see if we can get her.
I got to do a little fatherly shit here now. This is father stuff. Are you single?
Not really, but I am for the podcast.
Are you
my girlfriend will never watch this. My
girlfriend won't laugh. Wait, I'm doing an interview here. Stop it. Are you straight or gay?
Straight.
He just said he has a girlfriend.
Wait a minute.
As far as I know.
I had a wife for 16 years. Hello, what do I look like, Butch Cassidy? Anyway, I have a gorgeous daughter.
Oh,
I'm trying to push. She's a blonde, green-eyed, ex-Miss First Runner-Up America, Miss Long Island, Miss New York State, and Power's top model. Now she's an older broad and looking for a boyfriend or a husband. How old are you? Want to tell me not? Yeah.
Not fair. I'm 48, but you know what? My family.
Oh, good. You're the same age as my daughter.
My family has a bad, history of marriages. I think I would spare your daughter that, but I'm honored. Thank you.
No. You know, my daughter. My daughter is she's a Grace Kelly or Michelle Pfeiffer lookalike, and gorgeous and glamorous. But you know what? Inside, she's Gumata Jenny, the old Italian from Italy. She loves
both worlds.
No, she loves to cook and clean and play house and stuff. Do you have a friend that we could fix her up with?
Yeah, but believe me, my friends are worse than me.
So then forget about you.
Yeah, no one in my circle I would suggest on my worst enemy, and I love those guys. But
you're all degenerate.
At least he's honest.
They're all pretty bad.
I have to tell you,
I've traveled this week with my buddies, and most of them are single, and they're just promoting a movie that we could talk about too, and it's pretty ugly. Ugly in a good way. No one's getting hashtagged, but it's just like these guys shouldn't have families.
No,
Michaela in the chat room says you're very handsome, and I have to say you have the nicest teeth.
But his friends,
look how nice his teeth are.
You know what? Armenians, Turks, and Greeks have the most beautiful teeth. English people, they all have rotten teeth. I don't know why. You notice in England, everybody's got bad teeth.
I'm working with a British director who has great teeth, but I'll keep my mouth shut about the Brits and their teeth. I'm paranoid about everything, man. I'm afraid I'm going to get hashtag Britain hates me. I'm one of those guys.
Oh, my God. We are so big in England, too. We have so many.
Wait,
yeah,
you
we're
know,
really big in England.
I knew Betty Davis, you know, the legend Betty Davis, the actress. And Betty used to say, when they stop talking about you, that's when you're in trouble.
That's true.
And let them talk about you. As long as they spell your name right, who gives a shit? That's Betty. Betty would say that to me. She also used to say, don't worry about today's newspapers, because they're tomorrow's toilet paper.
Genius.
She was a cool old broad, let me tell you. She had something to say about everything.
So I have a question. Okay, so you got all these kind of movies. One thing I find very cool about you, and we've had, in the last 6 months, we've probably had 3 or 4 other people who do the exact same thing, but you're one of those guys who is hungry and you don't wait for Hollywood to call you. You write your own shit. You somehow get it funded. You star in it. You work with really big people, and that's becoming kind of like a little bit more normal, but it's not super normal yet. So I want to first give you kudos to that because you've I know you wrote. Let's see, we wrote I Am Wrath. Is it Wrath or Wraith?
Yeah, I Am Wrath. That was a movie with John Travolta. That again, the script is part of it, but you do need to have a good crew around you. I've been lucky to meet people that were willing to take a shot on some of my stuff. And I just, I am a little ADD, so I try to keep active. I'd love to just sit home and get phone calls for jobs, which happens once in a while. That's like a miracle. I can't wait. The time in between that drives me nuts, so I try to keep.
I love it.
Well, you have to be somebody. Churchill, going back to him, called me to do Amityville. I wasn't interested, to tell you the truth. And he said to me, I will give you a 5-year contract. And I said, okay. He said, I will pay you. He said, I will pay you $5,000 a week, and also your trailer will be on the set, and you don't have to come to work till 10 and leave at 4, and you have there's an hour massage. Wait, after you get there at 10, there's an hour massage till 11, and then, we can always have somebody dub your lines if you forget.
Right.
So I
didn't get that deal. I didn't get that deal. I love the guy. I'll ask for that on the next one. If I can get it.
That's the only way I'd ever work for church.
No.
A contract like that. Oh, by the way, and my name goes above the title of the movie.
Can't have it any other way.
I love it. I think it's fabulous. So talk a little bit about that. The fact that you, first of all, you come up with the ideas to write all these different things, because I know now I don't know if the Vigilante Diary started as a series and then became a movie, or if it was a movie first and then became a series.
That was honestly. Again, a lot of things happened by accident. The director on that, Christian Sesma, is friends with Jason Mewes from all the Kevin Smith movies.
Yeah.
And the three of us just sat around. Jason was cool enough to attach himself to a web series, and we got that going. So that was a web series that was canceled after 2 episodes. So it was a failed web series, which is tough to do, but we figured out how to do that. So I don't know if we even canceled web series, but we figured it out. So then 2 years later, a producer, an Armenian gentleman, Asko Akopian, saw that the rights were still available, and he financed the feature version of the web series. And then from that, it was picked up, and it ended up on HBO for 1.5 years. And it has a little weird cult following, and it did help me. I think I met Thomas Churchill through that. He saw that, and he cast me in his next movie. So
it's cool because you a lot of times play like this really badass dude in all your films. Are you really big? How big are you?
I think I'm big. But, I think what happens is I am drawn to some weird material, and I end up in more stuff that's more action-y. I love action movies, but the stuff I like, no one's gonna make. I like David Lynch movies where a guy just sits and has coffee for 1.5 hours. I like weird stuff, but most of my friends are action and horror guys. And I just kind of clicked with them. So usually, yes, I'm playing someone who's angry and is getting revenge, which I love that.
How big are you? How tall are you?
I'm 6 feet. Right now, I'm probably 214. I should be 200.
So he's all
Me
muscles.
too. You're the same as I
was in Napa for 3 days, so I came back. I should be a little lighter, but
I'm 6 foot also, and I'm 214. I'm 14 pounds overweight.
You know what? I could tell just by looking at you, you can't wait to get off there and hit the gym right now. I could see it.
Absolutely. with the devil dog in one hand and an ice cream in the other and a piece of pie in my mouth.
You want to know something? I'll be honest. I lived in Venice Beach for a while. My friends are all bodybuilders, but really I go to the gym because I love food. So it's a never-ending battle. I just love to eat, so I have to go to the gym.
So what's your favorite thing to eat?
Oh, man. It's usually I'm kind of like a barbecue fiend. I track down any new barbecue spots. Chinese food, Mexican food, all the good stuff, all the healthy stuff. We live in Palm Springs, and I swear to God, we don't have a freaking Chinese restaurant anywhere around that's any good here. You know what I hit when I go to Palm Springs? I love Sherman's for the chicken. Sherman's Deli.
You've eaten there,
oh, is that the one on the corner of Tucky's Canyon?
That's it.
Yeah.
The one you think
okay.
Jimmy thinks it's too expensive.
It's expensive. A sandwich is $16.
Yeah, I kind of like those. I like those delis where the super Reuben is $20. I like that stuff.
Did you ever go down the road to the Manhattan Deli?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I've been to that one. I got some buddies who live out there, so I have to check that out.
Manhattan, it's right on Palm Canyon.
Where are you actually from?
Wait, Manhattan Diner is cheaper and really better food, I thought.
Where are you actually from?
I was born in Boston, and then I moved to Venice Beach I was around 19, 20 years old, and and I never went back.
So where'd you get the New York accent from?
I think being out in California, most of my buddies are Long Island and Paramus, and I think my accent just got all messed up. And I just was working on a movie with a bunch of New York guys, that movie Green Book, so maybe some of that seeped in.
That's the one with Viggo Mortensen, right?
You don't sound like Boston at all.
No, I've been gone a while, so.
I mean, all the men in Boston sound like gay men. They sound faggy. I don't know why. No, seriously, the way they speak, park the car, I'm going to get it. Oh, they always sound like they got a dick up their ass or something. I don't know. They sound Boston people. The Boston accent is really quite queer. It really is a fairy accent, I think.
I don't know. I don't really know
I know many queens.
Actually, the only people I know from Boston are gay, though. So.
I know many queens are my good friends from Boston. And, if you're from New York, you pronounce it cock. You say my cock. Yeah. But if you're from Boston, you say cork.
Yeah,
they do.
Sounds like cork.
Say, oh, he's hot. He must have a big cork.
Anyway. All right, so.
Usually my conversations, I try to, leave out cock, but,
Don't be shocked. I ask guys. We had Daniel on, and Daniel is that gorgeous guy with the long white hair. You've seen him.
Him. Daniel DeCrisio. You might not know him. But
anyway, Daniel is far more beautiful than any woman. He's just a beautiful man. And I said to him, "You have a great personality." I said, "And you're beautiful, and you have gorgeous hair. I bet you were born with a small dick." He said, "No, contrary, he's Italian." He said, "He's born with a big dick." So now everybody knows that Danielle has a big dick.
He's everywhere.
We do shitty, crazy shit like this. That's why our show is such a hit, because it's like everybody's hanging out in our house. It's like real stuff. We don't do all that fake crap. Nothing fake here.
Everyone relaxed. Everybody's so uptight.
No. But that's why I want to get things out of you that go beyond just movie titles and stuff. I want people to know who you are, because today, if the audience knows you as a friend, they will support you. If you are standoffish and closed-mouthed, the audience thinks you have something to hide or they resent you.
Sure.
And that's why when we have guests on, I like to bring out the humanity in you, like the person. The guy that, has a dream, he wants to be a great actor and is sacrificing and all the things that he does. Those sort of things are what people love about an actor. And they will go to see you because they feel you're their friend. And that's the tip I give everybody. It's my success on this Demented show. I'm everybody's buddy. I mean, I just hang out with everybody.
He gets messages all the time from people saying they wish that he was their father or their grandfather, because he's he gets messages. He's 78.
I'm 78 years
old.
You know
what? I want to, whatever routine you're on, I want to get on it.
Just to be honesty, my friend. You know what? People appreciate, especially today with the president and stuff, people appreciate honesty. Honesty goes a long, long way. Don't try to con somebody, impress somebody, or bullshit anybody. Just be yourself. Be an honest, regular Joe, a nice guy, and everybody will love you. And you seem to be that way. Too bad you don't want my daughter. Fuck you.
And you would be saying the same thing if I met your daughter. So I figure we cut it off now. I am unworthy, but I appreciate that.
No, I got to get rid of her. She's going to be 49 now. 49. She's got to get married. It's time.
So I have another.
Huh?
Is she in Palm Springs?
Yes.
Yeah.
49 in Palm Springs. You have 50 years ahead of you. She has a great. Palm Springs is great. I think it.
Yeah, but not for straight.
Yeah, women. Palm Springs doesn't have too many straight men.
This is fairyland. You're getting all. Gay is gay is gay. That's what Palm Springs, the capital of Tutti Fruttis.
So hold on, I got one more movie thing I want to bring up though, because you got a movie called Black Antenna. I have no idea what it is, but it said that with the producers Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains, like the grunge band, Alice in Chains.
I'll give you a little quick rundown on that one. I'm shooting that right now. We have to finish hopefully by Christmas. Alice in Chains are producing an independent science fiction movie that's coming out in videos. So there are 2 videos already out that are scenes from the movie. So they're doing it concurrently, like the album is out and the videos are coming out as we shoot it. So if you look up Alice in Chains' new album, which is, if you're into Alice in Chains, it's phenomenal.
Oh my God, I love Alice in Chains.
They have two new videos out, and you can check them out on YouTube or on their channel. And the video is scenes from the movie. It's a weird science fiction thing, really weird, but I love it. And they were just clips of it in their last 2 videos. They're great
my
guys.
God, that is so
how do you
cool.
pronounce her last name? Is it Allison?
No, Alice in Chains is the name of the band.
Alice
ALICE
space N-I-N
Chains CHAINS.
Oh,
they were a huge band in the, I guess, in the 90s or the early 2000s and the 90s.
I saw them live with the new lead singer, man. They're amazing. They're great.
I freaking love Alice in Chains. Just to get to meet Alice in Chains is cool.
But
they're cool as hell. Very down to earth. Very down to earth.
That title will alarm people today with all the kidnap.
No, they won't.
Because women are named Alice have been kidnapped and they're in chains. So
I think Alice in Chains is a porn star on RedTube.
Probably. I think so too.
You gotta love it. Okay, so you like being like an action hero.
Yes.
Some of his other films, you guys, he's got Green Book with Viggo Mortensen, which I guess that's coming out now, right?
That is Green Book. I am a very small part in it, but I'm promoting it because my friends are in it and they're flying me around and sending me to festivals. I'm just in it, a small part in the beginning. It's set in New York in like 1962. And these 2 guys go on a road trip and become buddies. But the movie's phenomenal, feel-good movie. It's great. I have a very small role in it, but great people involved all around on that. It comes out Friday in New York and L.A., and then Thanksgiving everywhere.
Remember, there's no such thing as a small part.
Oh, I was happy to have it, and it gets a laugh in the movie. So.
As Norma Desmond said, there are no small parts. There are only small actors.
And we don't want to get back to – yeah, exactly.
Right? So there are no such things as small parts. In Churchill's movie, as a bartender, I think I have 2 lines. If I'm lucky, do I have 2 lines in that?
I don't even know.
I haven't read the script.
There's another. I might as well throw it at you guys while it's out. I had a movie come out on the 6th on iTunes. It's streaming now. And it's an anthology movie called Blood, Sweat, and Terrors, and it's like 5 short stories directed by stuntmen. Some of them are from The Matrix. Some of them are from the John Wick movies. And I have an 8-minute story in that. It's like a Twilight Zone anthology. If you guys are into horror and action, and there's a lot of British guys in it. It's called Blood, Sweat, and Terrors. It just came out on the 6th, and you could get it on Amazon or iTunes.
I'm big into horror. I'm a big horror.
You'll like it. Look it up. It's really cool. That just came out.
That's actually how I met Churchill at a horror convention. I met him at a horror convention in Florida many years ago. And I freaking love it. And the movie he just did is a horror movie, and we've got a couple more coming up that we're doing.
Okay, you should definitely check it out. The opening is like the first 8 minutes, you got everything. Heads exploding, full frontal nudity. It's great. You'll love it. Tentacles.
Full frontal guy nudity or girl nudity?
No.
Well, we're fighting for the equality of that. We're fighting for that. A lot of actresses that I know, matter of fact, we were in the trailer of Sadie Katz's trailer, and I was talking to the 5 gorgeous girls. I won't mention who they are, but
they're gorgeous
superstars of horror movies. You probably work with them.
You could text me them later on.
Yeah.
Well, no, and anyway, one said it really is sad that because Caroline Williams is in a movie called Hanukkah, and she takes a mitzvah bath in blood, naked. Now, this woman has a body that doesn't quit. We've seen her, in panties and a bra changing. So Jimmy and I know that she's got a phenomenal body, not a bit of fat anywhere. So she's in this bloodbath in a bathtub, showing frontal nudity, everything. Yet men won't. And I think that's so unfair because it really makes the woman less than the man. Why? The man can't show his dick because why? He's so I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, I would show my dick on a movie. I don't give a shit. But women have to do it. Tits and box, everything is photographed. And I think it's so unfair. It's not equal. And I think Hollywood should either cut it out with the women or do male frontal. A couple of actors.
We want to see that Chris Pine movie.
Chris Pine. Chris Pine
well, if you notice on cable a lot and in European movies, there's a lot of like Game of Thrones, and there's a lot of cable movies with guys naked.
Yeah, as long as it's not erect.
Do you watch Game of Thrones? Is Game of Thrones good? I've never watched it. We had James Faulkner on, who played. He was in season 6. I forgot. Randall Tarley. He played.
Okay, yeah, I loved Game of Thrones. It's great.
Okay,
I have to watch Game of Thrones.
Front nudity. The reason why Chris is doing front nudity is because I read they duct tape his dick to his knee.
Well,
all right.
Good for him.
So that's why he's doing frontal nudity. Seriously, you read this about him. He's supposed to be hung like a mule.
Oh, we'll see.
But a lot of actors, I guess, if it's cold on the set, get little wieners, and they don't want any.
Yeah.
So I thought what we could do with them is glue a dildo on just for the shot.
Yeah.
I think that'll work.
No, we had James Faulkner on. He's the coolest guy. He's in Downton Abbey. He was in Game of Thrones. He's in, I forgot what it's called, but he plays the Pope.
He's all over.
In this movie, in a series, he plays like the Pope. I forgot what the series is called, but in it, because he's a guy that on his acting wheel, how he gets out of this big hot tub without any clothes on, and he was talking about how they like put like a prosthetic head on the top of his penis.
Oh man.
And everything to make it look, I guess, because he's not supposed to be cut.
They want to be accurate.
And to be all accurate and everything. So it was very funny. He's a cool guy. You should meet him. He was in Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron.
Yeah, I love that movie. That movie's excellent.
It's a cool accident. Because, you're an action hero. If you want to be an action hero, who are some of the people in the business that you're like, oh, my God, these are, people I'd kind of like to have some of these kind of roles?
Well, honestly, the action movies, if they make enough money and you get popular enough, the ultimate goal would be to make movies that you want to make, which, again, my taste is not always like Fast and the Furious. I like guys like Christian Bale or Russell Crowe. I saw a Western with Christian Bale called Hostiles that I loved. It'd be stuff like that. It wouldn't always be – I love action stuff, which comes to me, because people look at me that way, which is great. It's a compliment. But I'd like to do stuff like maybe a little more suspenseful thrillers, like I saw a movie
like Taken.
Yeah, in other words, I like stuff that's a little bit off the normal, a little bit twisted.
So not so much like Skyscraper.
It's funny that when they see him, they want to cast him that way. Every time I'm casted, I play a gay person. I have no idea why. Not a clue.
Spread rumors about you. Churchill spreading rumors again.
No. I just played a gay minister. Now I'm going to be playing another gay something in another.
I'm a cowboy movie. You're playing
I'm a gay cowboy in a big major movie. I played the gay. So I'm starting to get like, gee, wow. People must think I'm gay, huh?
Oh well, you're. That's okay. It works. So what are some of your favorite action movies?
Recently, I like the John Wick movies a lot.
The first one especially. I thought the first one was better than the second one.
And I thought the last Mission Impossible was incredible for just.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
And
for a gay guy to do all that work, that's hard.
Hey, I didn't
don't even comment on that because he sues everybody.
No, what is he going to sue? He's going to sue me? He would be so laughed.
He follows me on Twitter, so I have to be nice.
He would be so laughed out of court if he ever sued me.
I think the last Mad Max movie with Tom Hardy was great. The action.
That was a great film.
But yeah, I think there's some great action movies being made. I just saw one on Netflix called The Apostle that was pretty crazy, and it was with Dan Stevens from Downton Abbey. Yeah. That was pretty cool too, and that was a little strange, but I thought it was great. There's tons of movies out there. If you want to find them, some of them are on Netflix, some of them you got to dig around on iTunes. But I think I've never watched so many movies in my life. It's like 2 movies a day for me.
Yeah, I watch a lot too.
I used to have a show where I interviewed the greatest celebrity legends of Hollywood, people like Jane Russell, Lauren Bacall, Tab Hunter, Tippi Hedren. I mean, the names just go on. And every single one it was a serious interview. It wasn't funny or dirty like this one. But everything that they said to me was, Ron, it happens. You can look for it forever, and it never happens. But if you just coast and go with it, it'll happen. And every movie star said, well, this happened to me, and that's where I was found, and blah, blah, blah. So that bullshit about knocking on every door one is bound to open, that's the hard way. You got to depend on personality, luck, and timing. It's all timing. If you're in the right place with the right producer, and he sees you for the right part, there you go, co-starring in a Hollywood major film. So, it's all about who you know. And
in the chat room,
once you accept that,
you can't knock your head out.
Yeah, I think a lot of, I have a couple of friends who are really doing well. They just had, like exactly what you said, met the right person at the right time. I think once you accept that that's a lot of it, it isn't all about you personally, you don't get as nuts because, you guys know, acting and movie making, it makes a lot of people crazy.
Yes.
I have a pretty fun little circle of buddies anyway, so I just try to enjoy my life, and I do love movies, and I will do them for free sometimes if I really love it, but I don't let it drive me nuts because I really enjoy my little circle of buddies, and I don't let it. When it's great, like I'm working right now on a project that just came to me. It's a Netflix thriller, and I'm just happy to be on set and working. I don't let it freak me out.
You see,
That's good. Balance.
I like the work. I made my first movie in 1959. I was 19 years old, and that was with Tab Hunter and Sophia Loren, which was a big, big major movie. I couldn't have given a shit less, tell you the truth. And then I did Charlie's, I did everybody on TV, and my career just kept going, and I couldn't care less. And the less I cared, the more roles that came to me. People say, "Go on." And then now, at 130 years old that I am, I have big people, two big people doing a big major movie. I have one, it's a $30 million movie I'm going to be the third lead in. And I don't look for the work, it just comes. And I feel that that's how it happens in this business. If you overamp, you turn people off and you scare them away by being so greedy and I want to be, I could do, that terrifies people. If you have an attitude like, oh, fuck you, your movie's okay, you're lucky you get me. Jane Russell did that.
Like that, but that was pretty good. That was good.
No, but do you know who Jane Russell is? Do you know who Jane Russell is?
I know who Jane Russell is. And,
the movie star, Gentlemen for Blondes.
Sophia Loren, like that era of, who's
yes.
in the worth? Maybe those like the, what would you call them? Not like vixens, but.
They were sex symbols.
Was kind of big, right?
Yes.
Jane Russell was with Howard Hughes. She was famous for the haystack with the brassiere. Anyway, she was my sister, my best friend for years. I mean, buddies. We hung out. I forgot what I was going to say about it now.
Do you see anybody
yeah.
Now, do you see anyone now who has that kind of that glamour? Like anyone? Not really. I don't think actors looked at like they used to be.
No. There's one out there right now who is Audrey Hepburn. She's the most stylishly beautiful, elegant lady. Dresses magnificently, looks gorgeous, and is a fucking great actress. Adrian.
Who?
Adrian. Our Adrian. Audrey Hepburn, my Adrian. Is her name Adrian?
I don't know. Oh, no. You're talking about
Adrian.
Oh, no, it's not Adrian.
Whatever her name is.
Oh, isn't that terrible?
I want to give her a plug.
No, she was in Xena Warrior Princess, and she played Xena's daughter.
She's
and we met her at a red carpet event, and she looked like Audrey Hepburn, and she's very classy, and she doesn't take just any role.
No, she's wonderful.
And,
she has that whole total attitude like screw you, you're lucky you get me. But she's not nasty or snobbish. It's just like she said,
elegant and classy.
She lives a life, and part of her life is film. Right. But her entire life is not film.
Is she American?
Yeah.
Oh, she's American. Oh, wow, cool.
She's gorgeous. Oh, she's stunningly beautiful.
Isn't that funny? Now I can't think of her name, but I'm looking for
her. She's on my Facebook.
Adrian Wilkinson.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do some Googling later on. That's excellent, though. I would like to see. It's nice when you see little hints of old school.
No, there's a
pretty nice.
Picture of her on red carpet on my Facebook where she is with her hair up and the gown she had, my God, so reminiscent of the 1955 Audrey Hepburn style, class. The girl's going to go places because she's so different. I go to all these red carpets and I go over to these little chicks. They all have platform shoes,
right?
Clit covers for skirts, and they hang out these fake balloon boobs, the 500-pound tits.
Where everybody looks the same.
Yeah, and the girl is only 100 pounds and her tits are 500, and they have the hair long on one side, and they think they're going to make movies. No, they're going to get in bed with somebody, that's for sure. They'll get fucked that night, but they ain't getting fucked into the movie. Anyway, I say to them, like, what do you want to be in a star? And I say, why don't you change your look? And they say, oh, no, this is hot, and they want us hot. And I say, yeah, on your knees they want you hot, but not necessarily in a movie, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, I think some of my actors friends, I just tell them you really have to like acting because it's tough for guys getting jobs, and I can't even imagine the stuff that women go through. I don't even want to think about it because it's tough for everyone to get a job, and then you have to add that element on for actresses. It's pretty tough. They have to really love it and keep their head focused on the work because the rest of it. You can be on Instagram and be on red carpets and be famous. If it's just about being famous, you could be, have 1 million followers on Instagram.
Anybody gets on a red carpet. Yeah. That's what I was saying to Jimmy. First of all, in my day, when I did red carpet, it was a red carpet with as they do now, but longer and better. And it was just done for major movie stars and major movies. Now, any piece of shit that they do, like a cell phone video, they have a red carpet for it. And it's ridiculous because they've really trashed that also. But never in our business be a pack rat. Don't look like everybody else.
Right.
Because all these girls that have the hair like that, described as I was, they all look alike. So how are they going to do anything? You must have an individual look. Cary Grant, you know who he was?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, he had a signature personality.
Yeah, good hair, too.
Yeah. That's what the camera wants.
So do you, though.
Yeah, the camera. No, I'm trying to tell him something that he could use. The camera must like you. If the camera doesn't like you, you could go screw yourself in this business. You have a way about you. There's a gruff, not rough, gruffness about you, bear-like. And I think if you played that part in a horror movie, it wouldn't be a corny horror persona. Do you know how corny the actors are? Who was it that told me the reason why those horror films stink is because they can't afford to pay good actors or real actors?
That might be true. You know, the horror movies I like, way back, like it was usually a bunch of guys. Like I don't know, Angel Heart with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, good movie.
That's one of my favorite movies. And if you look at him in that, it's because
that's with Lisa Bonet, right? Lisa Bonet.
Yeah, Lisa Bonet, Robert De Niro. And I agree with you saying, like, the guy was acting his ass off in a movie about Satan and demons. That's the stuff I like.
So in the chat room, they want to know. Michaela wants to know, actually. She's one of the ones who keeps writing how cute you are. She said, you know, you do all the action films and everything. What about if you were, if someone brought you like a fairy tale or a heavy duty drama and stuff? Like, you okay, like busting out into all of them?
Movie, a sensitive love movie.
Absolutely. The movie I just worked on, Green Book, I had a small role, and that was kind of a drama, and I just had a little comedic role in it. I actually, speaking of fairy tales, I mean, I like stuff like if she means in the Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings type genre. I love that stuff. So a period piece. I kind of like everything. If I had my choice, I would just be doing horror movies, but I do love period movies.
So would it upset you or cause you any kind of distress to play a gay guy in a movie?
I think that I would have to get a little drunk. And I also think that the environment we're in now, I'm just being honest with you guys, I don't think they'd let a straight guy, they would give him shit. They want gay guys playing gay roles. And
No, you're right. I think you're right about that.
Only now, but not years ago, because years ago when we did have, like, Boys in the Band, there were performers on Broadway and in film that were not gay, that were straight.
You're right now, though. I think you're right.
Well, that's only because of the new union laws. I can't think of the straight actors that kissed in movies in the 1950s because it was part of the part. I can't think of one, but there were many. So if the part played that you had to kiss another man, how would you be about that?
Here's the honest, you know.
I only want honesty.
Yeah, I grew up on a lot of like overtly macho guys, and most of my buddies would give me tons of shit. And in my head, I would say, no, I'm not right for that. But I think you never say never. It hasn't come up for me, and I would hate to pass on something for something like that. I don't think I'm the right guy for that. I'll be honest. I don't think about it too much.
But what if the producer thought so? And don't forget, you're an actor.
Right. No, I agree.
And what you do.
Done it. Guys that I admire, you know, they're in movies making out with guys. It hasn't come up, and I think I'd have to have that role and that situation put in front of me. I got tons of gay buddies. I'm cool with everything, but me personally.
No, but I mean the imagery of the image of your macho-ness now, and would you damage your image? Would you? Be
I don't think it would. I don't think it would damage an actor's image now. I think it would be more a choice for me if I would be like, to be honest, if I would be like, I know I'm immature. That would be a big step for me. But it hasn't been put in front of me.
Look at Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks was in Philadelphia. Now look at him.
Yeah, I don't think any roles hurt actors' careers in that sense. I don't think anyone really cares anymore. I think it'll be me and my buddies ribbing me. To be honest, my buddy.
Well, I played a straight guy once. I played a soldier, and I wasn't a gay soldier, so I know what it's. I know what it's like.
Don't ask.
So wait. So who are some of the, if you were gonna have an action adventure female heroine lady that you're like right next to you in the film, and if you were gonna do some kind of heavy duty drama, who are female actresses you would like to be working opposite of?
Chicks that I'm fascinated by. I thought Lady Gaga was amazing. I know she's new to being an actress, but I thought she was amazing. But actresses I'd like to work with when I find myself just checking out a movie just because they're in it. Amy Adams and Jessica Chastain. I really like their work. I find myself just whatever the movie is they're in, I will check them out.
Those are good. Those are good. Nobody ever has picked those yet. Anybody that we've found, those are good picks.
Yeah,
love Amy Adams.
And honestly, besides for the way she looks, I think Scarlett Johansson is a fascinating actress. I like watching her too. Besides that she's smoking hot, but she's interesting. I
don't find her smoking hot at all. I find her very masculine. She almost looks like a drag queen sometimes. No, seriously, she looks like a guy in a wig.
I'm not a big Scarlett Johansson fan either.
She's a very big.
I like your other two picks better.
She's a big boned woman, and she has a big face, and that's what. Good. I'm talking about beautiful drag queens now, not these horrible broken down things. I'm talking about the ones that you would bang in a minute if they were women.
Did you ever Did you ever see the show? What's Michelle Dockery's TV show we like so much? Good Behavior. Did you ever see the TV show Good Behavior?
She's the new Betty Davis. This girl is the best actress out there, better than all of them. Nobody could do what she does. I love and adore her.
She went from Downton Abbey being like all prim and proper, which I don't know if you watched it, but Lady Mary. Downton Abbey was great.
Yeah. The other actress I didn't have any scenes with, but she's in Green Book, Linda Cardellini. If you've ever watched,
fabulous. She's
ever watched Bloodline? Great. Ever seen that show Bloodline?
Yeah, she's a great actress.
I was excited when my buddies told me she was cast. Yeah, I kind of like actresses that look a little bit like they have some issues and some shit's going on in their lives. But
you need to watch Good Behavior for real. It's on TNT. You have to really at least watch the first couple episodes. Yeah. It is the greatest show ever. I can't believe it's not coming back.
Do you know why Meryl Streep is the actress she is today? Because Meryl Streep adored and loved all of Betty Davis's movies. When she was a girl, she came home from school and watched them on television, and she would act out every role. So she picked up a lot of Betty's stuff, the eyes, the look, the whatever.
I can see that, yeah.
And a lot of actresses now are doing that. Our friend Adrian is copying Audrey Hepburn. We have another friend of ours that's copying sort of a Joan Crawford character. Because those women in those days held the film. They were starring the movie. Today we don't have women starring a movie. We got to throw 10,000 stars in there to get people to go. But I went years ago to see a Joan Crawford movie. Who gave a shit? I didn't care about the story. We went to look at Joan Crawford. And that's what they're doing now. The girls that are smart actresses are looking back at the films of the 40s and 50s.
I agree.
And they're taking a little technique. Like I tell a lot of the girls, too much dialogue in movies today. Not enough acting. One look.
Yeah.
Can tell a million sentences, and they don't do that. They don't know how to act. They read lines.
Do you ever watch Turner Classic Movies at all?
Look back on that. My mother has Turner Classic Movies cranking 24/7 when I go back and visit her.
Yeah, me too.
I look back on the one time I was house sitting for somebody who had a black and white film noir collection, and I just kind of immersed myself in like Humphrey Bogart and Burt Lancaster and just those guys way back then, man. Just a whole different level of movie star. And
but you can learn from that.
Yeah, you can.
They knew how to be macho without being offensive to women. Right. See, a lot of macho guys women don't like because the men treat them like crap.
Right.
But Humphrey Bogart was as macho as could be, but women were not afraid of him.
I agree. And he looked like something was going on. And all those guys back then, I think because, like you guys were saying, I think the actors then, they lived lives. Some of them were World War II veterans, and they just had real lives. So they brought that to their movies. I think a lot of people now they think movies are real life. There's no difference. And I think when I look back on the actors of that era, like the black and white movies, you'd say, why is that gone? I don't know if it's the black and white or just the distance of time. But why is there no magic to movies?
Because the world we live in today is mass killing in schools,
Right.
bombing people at parades,
Right.
a president that doesn't seem to be doing anything correctly. We have a lot of stuff going on in our world right now. We have violence, we have blood, we have killing, shooting, chopping up the Mexicans at the border, the this, the that, the people in cages. How can a film not reflect that?
Right.
Because it would be corny. Now, during the Depression, people were poor. They haven't pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, half of them, all right? They went to the movies to escape. It was escapism. So they had Carol Lombard playing a rich woman. Everybody was rich in the 1930s. Mansions, butlers, maids, because it was the fantasy. Today, we don't have any escape. We go to a movie and we see the news. That's all it is. It's what's going on today. There's no fantasy unless you go see a wonderful film like Mars. Mars was a wonderful film. Planet Mars. What's his name? The astronaut, the actor who I like.
Matt Damon?
Matt Damon. Who went
The
to
Martian?
The Martian, whatever. What the fuck is
It's not the same.
Called Mars, too. You know what? There's a show on this week called Mars.
Yeah, there's a show called Mars. You're right.
Right. But I mean, that was a movie that took us away from our daily whatever. But the violence, the killing, the shooting, I think it upsets the young people. Right. It puts ideas in their heads. I mean, the feeling to have a gun and shoot somebody, the power of that is enforced through film.
See, I like all the violence.
Yeah, but the violence is why we have violence in the world. In 1940 and 50, my mother told me if a movie star wore a certain hat, everybody went out and bought that hat. All the women used to copy this movie star, that movie star. I wanted to be Cary Grant. I mean, that's all I only wanted to be.
I like because
wait a minute. Film had such an influence on people. Today, film has an influence on young people, all people.
It's no different. It had an influence then, and it has an influence.
Yeah, but
now.
The influence today is
murder, right?
Guns that don't stop shooting. See, in the old days, somebody got shot, but you never saw blood. Right. You notice, you never saw a bullet hole.
Well,
today
a lot of the movies that I liked were super violent, but I didn't take them seriously, and it didn't affect my mindset like with Terminator or Commando or Rambo. I just thought, I looked at them as cartoons. I didn't take that out of the theater with me and thinking, I
didn't either. I'm like you.
They're pretty violent movies.
There are people with strong minds, but there are also people with weak minds. And the weak-minded people seem to be affected by this because they're weak and they don't have personalities. They're usually wallpaper and nobody notices them and nobody cares. They can't get girls. They don't get laid. Their mothers don't like them. So what do? They get a gun and go shoot everybody this way. Now I'm a star. I'm in the press. People like me. Everybody's getting paid.
I don't agree with that. But hold on. Let's go back.
That's what the shrinks say. I read all that shit.
I think because I'm a huge fan of the Fast and Furious franchise. I did the costume design on the second one. I think the movies are great.
I do too.
And I do think they're very violent and everything, but they're also so not realistic that it's like a total fantasy.
No, they're really not violent. They're more fantasy.
Yeah, that's like a fantasy film because that's not going to happen. Nobody's coming out of a fucking helicopter with a fucking car and landing on a mountain.
I think those movies filled a slot. Like, again, when I was a kid, it was Indiana Jones or James Bond, and people got killed, but it wasn't with any weight. It was very cartoony. I never looked at Indiana Jones as always killing all these guys. I didn't really care about it. And I think
I didn't either.
Fast and Furious fills that slot for just fun, explosions, and the violence in movies. I really love violence in movies, not in real life. And I don't know how you rein that in because is it fair that someone who enjoys a Tarantino movie can't watch that anymore because someone might not be able to handle that type of movie? What do you do? Who needs to be reined in, the humans or the guys making the movies?
You cannot change society.
Right.
It has evolved.
Yeah.
From the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, when film still had some kind of a censorship. Now there is no longer censorship. Look at our show, the way we curse and behave. 20 years ago on my other show, I never did this. I would be horrified. Once I slipped and said, I forgot, it was with Lauren Bacall. We had to shoot it over. I said, for Christ's sake. Oh, my God, they can't say that.
I actually think, though, in a weird way, that using profanity on a show like this, it's more about a relaxed environment than trying to shock people.
No,
that's not for shocking.
It's not shock. It's that,
listen, just be relaxed and talk, You don't usually hear cocks getting duct taped to actors' legs. That's different,
No, but...
and it's fun. And Chris Pine is cool. He's a cool actor.
Oh, it's probably all bullshit publicity anyway. But they probably duct tape it to his left testicle. But anyway, that's big too. But no, we don't do it for shock. We do it because it's a sign of the times.
Yes.
Everybody curses today. Women, I mean, I hear young girls in the street that sometimes I faint when one girl will describe another guy. Oh, please, he's got no dick. Oh, you fucked him. And they do it publicly in the street. Women in my day and girls in my day, they didn't say things like that. If they did it hiding among themselves. So our show is a reflection of today. Like I tell everybody, like you, I want you to make believe you're in Brooklyn, in my kitchen, and we're having coffee and Entenmann's crumb cake. And this is how we talk. When guys get together, this is how guys talk. Absolutely. What do you think they say? Gosh darn heck. You know. So, gee whiz, gosh darn heck, I'm upset.
So what's the poster behind your right shoulder? Is that one of your films? The big one. No, the one on the wall.
That one's a movie that kind of never really got made. But there's a piece of it in that Blood, Sweat, and Terrors. It's about a hitman who's haunted by demons. So you know what? Blood, Sweat, and Terrors, that was a shot from the feature version of it. So
okay.
Get everybody go back on iTunes and check that out. That character is in the anthology that's on iTunes right now.
Also, how old were you when you decided you were going to be an actor? And who influenced you and who told you, yeah, Hollywood's waiting for you?
Like 3 minutes.
All right, I'll be quick. No one really told me that they were waiting for me. I'm still waiting to hear that. But I was I lived out. I love stories, love movies, and I lived in Venice Beach. And I was around people doing movies. And when I was cast in the Scorpion King movie with The Rock, and that was his first movie, and I was basically just, an extra that he's shooting an arrow at me. And it was inspiring to see this guy that came from the wrestling world and the world of sports to be leading his movie. This was like 2000, 2001. And I just had a small role in it. I had some fun, made some money. And then I just got a little more aggressive. And I said, okay, I'll do what this guy did. I'll just hustle. So I started writing scripts, meeting producers, and trying to make myself valuable because every actor could be replaced. But if I come in with a little more ammo, I seem to build a little fan base of filmmakers that kept me working over the years. But it was Scorpion King, seeing The Rock.
Very smart. Now, very smart.
Do you live off of the money you make, or do you have another job?
I've been lucky, I'd say the last 7 years, 6 or 7 years, I've been lucky to live off them because not just acting, some of the projects I've produced or co-written or have written them. So I've been very lucky to live off them. I'm not driving Ferraris, but I have a very nice life. Thank God.
Congratulations. I think that's wonderful.
That's good.
I love to hear that, too.
Yeah, I was a hairdresser for years. That's how I supported myself because I wasn't waiting for acting roles. Back then, we didn't have what we have today. Back then, it was called Hollywood, the movie industry. And you had to be under contract I was under contract to Universal for a while, but I made shit for money. I mean, nothing, $300 a week. What's that?
It was steady, but it was like, you're right, there was like a structure to it. Now, I'm amazed when I get to shoot in Los Angeles. I've been in like Louisiana, and it's hard to shoot a movie in L.A. They send you somewhere else. It doesn't feel like Hollywood when you're.
We shoot everything now is shot up in Santa Clarita. Yeah. That's where everybody's.
Santa Clarita is where we shot Scorpion King. See, we come full circle.
Yeah, that's where.
There you go.
Everybody's shooting up there. We got to go. What a nice afternoon it was with you.
So first of all, we're going to have you back when Nation's Fire comes out. We're going to get the whole cast and have everybody come on. So I want to help promote Nation's Fire really big time. First of all, you guys, you can follow Paul on Twitter, but he's not Paul Sloan. He's Paulie Sloan.
I like
so you got to go at Paulie Sloan. Paulie. Make sure you follow me back. I think I'm following you. Follow me back.
I like Paulie better than Paul.
So Paulie Sloan is his Twitter handle, you guys. If you're like going through iTunes or Amazon or anywhere, you see any of his films, check out The Scorpion King, Stiletto, The Night Crew, I Am Wrath.
Blood, Sweat, and Terrors, that's the new one.
Blood, Sweat, and Terrors is the new one. Nation Fire's coming out. Green Book, The Vigilante Diaries, Black Antenna. Check out the videos by Alice in Chains. We want to thank you for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
You got it, guys. Same here. See you soon.
All righty, bye.
Take care, Paulie.